To order. First order is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Everybody. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion that the agenda is approved.
Second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
He's on.
Here.
Working on.
Mrs. Cooper, are there any public comments?
Sure. No.
No public comments. Is there a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes from June 5th?
Make a motion that meetings is approved from June 5th.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And first order of business.
Yes, sir. You know, next one?
No.
Oh, he got his car running?
Yes, we do. Ambrose Run easement.
So yes, and this has also been called the WK also.
Yeah.
It's called WK Austin, the name of the department is Watercress. So Mr. Steve Anderson, and he will be presenting. So if you can pull that up, feel free to walk here. Or join us on the speakers right here, so. Okay. And you, you bring. Confirm your with now. What's the name?
Davis and Floyd.
Davis and Floyd. Thanks. So go ahead.
Well, I just say if we get the drawing up, then it'll maybe make for an easier conversation.
I will just real quick, if you remember the last time you were here when March of this year, and at that time, a request was made for a traffic study to be done to see if if it was required to put a left and right turn into the Watercress Apartments on the kills. Correct. Now you have.
Which is what we have done. We completed the traffic study, and the warrants, the justification is for the right turn lane off of WK Austin northbound into the apartments, and a right turn lane southbound WK Austin into the school driveway. The study also looked at the left turn lanes, and in both directions, northbound and southbound, they are not warranted. So the drawing that we're proposing is you're looking at WK Austin. To the bottom of the screen is the Watercress property. To the top of the screen is the school property and driveway. So you can see the right turn lane southbound on WK Austin. It would help traffic funnel into the school driveway, and then northbound on WK Austin, the right turn lane feeding traffic into the apartments, clearing up 3 lanes for the 3 traffic. So, you know, we've progressed in this dialogue with the school now several years, and maybe as many as a half a dozen trips before you. Also appreciate your continued patience, but I feel like we have reached the agreement we discussed. Our ask is that the school would grant the easement. WK Austin is state road, but it's sandwiched between school property. So there's a strip of school property that the Ambrose Run, the east-west road, would have to cross to access WK Austin. So the ask would be that the school grant that easement. We haven't prepared any documents, nor have we completed the design of the turn lanes. We wanted to get your permission and approval. If you say yes, that you would grant the easement, then we would prepare the easement documents, come back and submit those either at staff level or before the whole committee and or board, whatever your preference.
Right. We'll have to take this whole board for a vote, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't have a problem going to, making or entertaining a motion to have it moved to the full board. I'm in support of that. But We can probably get on the agenda for next week, or would it have to be the week?
Well, it would come out, if you vote on it in
Yeah.
operations committee, you would be under the operations committee report.
Right. Okay,
However you voted,
That would be in
however you
September.
decide.
Yeah, that would be in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Question. Ambrosial run, that would be running through the apartment complex?
Correct. It would connect, start at the eastern end would be US 21 Paris Island Gateway, and then it would then west to WK Austin. So it's paralleling Broad River Road.
It's, so that's Paris Island coming this way. That's the intersection they're talking about. So this is Walmart, everything back here, and schools over here.
So, and when you get to WK Austin, that's where you want the intersection, right at the entrance of the school?
Well, it would line up with your most northerly driveway, the bus drive.
Across the
Yeah.
driveway.
So they're putting in this turn lane here into the school property, and then that turn lane to Ambrose.
Okay,
I think that's the old bus driveway. I think recognize like this picture here is the old school. With the new school, this is a parent drop off drive. The bus is on the other side.
okay,
So,
okay,
yeah.
I see.
So yeah, this is the layout. This is just the older school.
Okay, okay.
But it would line up straight across from
Straight across.
from the drive. You know, the baseball and softball fields are here.
And again, where would the parent pick up and drop off be? Oh, down it, oh, okay, okay, all right.
Well, I have a quick question. Didn't we talk about what we were getting out of this versus just doing this? Because how much I said before, I think we were waiting on them to bring us something back, correct?
It's the traffic study, and that's what he's.
Okay, and the traffic study shows,
So we've looked at this intersection with WK Austin, the school driveway and Ambrose Run extension. And the right turn lanes, both the northbound and the southbound with WK Austin are warranted. The left turn lanes are not. It's the proposal would be to build the right turn lane into the school driveway. And then we would ask for a easement across the strip of land to get to WK Austin.
I don't think that, I don't think that we should, because what's this for, and you are representing the
Apartment.
the apartment complex, right? And I also know that we talked about, we talked about getting, we talked about getting, apartments for teachers and different things. And for us to say that we're gonna give you this, well, I mean, we're not getting anything out of it. We just can't continue to give people, right of way, right of ways and, what's the motion they just passed you? What's the motion they just passed you just now?
It's in your phone.
It's an easement.
I mean, yeah, easement, that's what I'm looking for. We just can't continue to give out easements. I think it's preposterously ludicrous for us to continue to give out easements, and we have people paying tax dollars who just can't get easements. And heck, on the island, if there's a graveyard, the community can't even get an easement to go to their own family loved ones. And for us to take tax dollars, take people's tax dollars and give out easements, and we're not even getting a apartment. We talk about making a deal and getting some apartments for teachers and to give that an easement. I just don't see, there's no way I can support this, and I'm hoping that my colleagues are support this either, because that was what we were waiting to hear about, not just about the traffic study. We also talked about, I remember Ms. Boatwright and us talked about this, we talked about it very at length about what we were getting out of it, because just giving up easements and to taxpayers' dollars, this has got to stop. I mean, because I just can't go somewhere and say, hey, can I get an easement and not charge or not make something out of it. People are charging people for easements. So to that end, I would leave it there. It would be a no for me and a heck no, because this is taxpayers' money. And we just don't have to, I don't think that we have the right to do that. So I'm not gonna support this.
And just, maybe I should say this clearly. The efforts have been done to do the traffic study, and we agreed that whatever we would want the collectively of apartments and school can't happen unless the Department of Transportation, because it's their road, approves it. So we did the study. We looked at both the right turn and left turn only the right turn lanes are warranted. And there's a cost associated with engineering and permitting and building those, and the apartments are gonna carry that burden. So the school will get a right turn lane into their driveway to help pull traffic safely off WK Austin to get off that road and to let traffic through. So there is an effort being made to recognize what you're saying, that this comes with a price. As to apartments, unfortunately, what's happened over time is there's no immediate developer for this to sit down and talk to and have that conversation. We still would like to go on with this effort. Y'all can see how long it's taken to get to here. So just in the development world of today, it takes a lot of time, and continue to get this design permitted and ready for construction.
I mean, I would respond to that. It takes a lot for us to get teachers at $6,000 a year. It takes a lot, because you're talking about now taking money and putting money in different areas where you can't utilize money for different things. So I understand that it takes this. You guys would have to do this regardless of that. If you want to do something different. I mean, I know a guy who had a trailer park. He said had a study done for his trailer park to figure some things out. So I mean that this is, when you own something of this caliber, unfortunately, these are things that you have to do. This is a business decision, but for us, it is a business decision too, because we had a meeting at length and we talked about this, and this was just not a one-pronged approach. And once we do it for you, then we don't put Pandora's box. Then we have to do it for everyone else, and everyone else expects that. And I just don't think rightfully that it's continuously right for us to say, oh well, they're opening a driveway. You have to open that driveway if you want to change the driveway to get to the school, regardless of wherever we allow you to or not. It depends on where you're talking about putting the new driveway at. So that's probably why you would give us an easement. I mean, you would make it so that we could have access to it to some degree at this juncture, because the board stood on solid ground, and we said that we wanted to be some negotiating there, and you came back with half of it. I'm gonna stand firm. I'm gonna say, I mean, that's his business. It's not, it's not. It's just, it has to happen. We have to start having a real serious conversation and have the community know that we're looking to help our entity and move in good faith at the end of the day, and we're gonna stand firm.
Ms. Gordon, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I remember the meeting when you came before, and one of the things we did ask you to do was to do a study. This is a traffic study to see how, because we knew how the traffic was gonna be on that road.
Right.
I was a bus driver that used to drive that road to pick up kids, so I know how hectic it was. So we did ask you to do a study, and you did the study, so what are you saying now? We don't agree with what the study is saying, or?
No, it's not about agreeing with what the study is saying. The traffic, it was more than the study that was asked. We also asked them about when you give someone the easement.
May
Go ahead.
I? So the other thing that was asked is, can we have an agreement with the apartment complex to maybe give a teachers like 5-10% off? But you're saying that there is no developers for the apartment complex yet. Is that what I'm understanding? So we don't have developers to talk to yet. So, yeah. So is there anybody have any questions online?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I have one.
Go ahead, Mr. Dallas.
I'd like to know, when is the apartment developer going to be selected? And is the easement discussion, is that something that could be included in, the easements, conversation, so that they know that, there may be an opportunity for them to weigh in on that as well?
So I can't speak to when a developer is gonna show up on the scene. The market's driving that and factors that are beyond engineering.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
What the ask was do the study, the things that engineers can discuss. And we did the study. we looked at right and left turn lanes, only the right turn lanes are warranted. That's what we come back for. The developer will put in all of the DOT improvements, both turn lanes and whatever associated drainage in return for the easement to get to it. And that's where we're at from the developer side right now. If there's more to be asked, then I'll have to go back. I can't.
Right, but you're saying there's not a developer yet, is what you're saying, yes. So, I don't mind bringing it to the full board and like taking it out of committee to the full board. But if we take it to the full board and there's not a developer yet, and we can't make a deal with the developer, then I don't know that it's going to pass at the board level. Does that make sense?
It does.
So, I mean, I don't mind moving it forward to the full board, but I mean, the probability of it not passing is probably higher than it making it through. So anybody have any recommendations at this point? Do we just kill it here and wait for you to come back with a developer? Or do you want to try to find a developer sooner rather than later?
Can we just take it to the board?
We can take it to the board.
I mean, my question is, why won't we take it to the board? Because I want to be clear. Because when the next person comes and they look at this and they bring this up, then when you open Pandora's box, or when you give what's my mom said what's good for it's good for the gander.
I understand your position, Mr. Smith.
Let me finish.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. You interrupted. You didn't ask to be recognized, and now you're asking me to wait for you to finish.
Okay, well, and along with that, he stated this now. He said that we asked him to do the study. We also asked him to do the study plus the development side. So this was a two-prong. It wasn't just one. So we didn't actually, he did, when you have a check off list, he did one thing on the list. He did everything on the list. I want that to be clear.
I understand your point, and you can vote it down if you don't want.
Right.
And I mean, that's totally within you.
But I just want to read.
Mr. Audine, what was your recommendation?
Well, just hearing the conversation here, I have a suggestion for a motion, just put it out there. If it was the Beaufort County School District Operations Committee recommends the Board of Education support a future easement allowing the connection of Ambrosia Run to WK Austin with concessions for teachers. Just suggestion. What you're saying is you agree with what they're bringing forward so that they can continue on with their design, but understanding if someone comes on board that the Board of Education is requesting concession for teachers as part of the easement. That's what it seemed like I heard.
I like it.
So, we have looked at some type of rental agreement, be it with the school, with the city, with the county, first responders. Then you have to quantify that percentage or number of units. You set a time limit on when you're going to rent them. If you don't rent them, they go to the market. They can't just sit vacant. So there is some challenges that keep going with that, and that's not quite as black and white as what we were looking at. As we've looked at this and talked to the school, there's some challenges right now in WK Austin in that entrance. So this would be an immediate solution or improvement to that situation. We can. That's what I'd like to do, just to get past the black and white, and let's make a not so good situation a little bit better. And that's what this would achieve, is making that connectivity.
Right. But the motion that Mr. Audine proposed makes some concessions for you, and it makes some concessions for us in the future. And that shows good faith for us and good faith for you. I mean, so I think that allows some flexibility, and it's with future concessions, I think is flexible enough that we can continue negotiations if we move beyond this point.
I'm fine with going to the full board and having a conversation with them.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Mr. Dallas, go ahead.
I like what you're suggesting and what Mr. Otting has recommended. I would put on the table for consideration, instead of the motion as proffered by Mr. Otting says request concessions. Would it be appropriate to strengthen that a little bit and say require?
Sure.
So would that be amenable?
Sure.
Would that be amenable?
Sure.
So would that be amenable? 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 So would that be amenable?
Yes, I agree.
Hiring sessions for leasing to teachers.
Anybody else online? All right, any other comments about any of this? Yes,
No.
Mr. Smith.
Well, just hearing his last comment, it sounded like they'd have some, hearing his last comment, it sounded like they have had conversation about it and they weren't too keen about it. So because of that, I'm definitely gonna vote, I'm definitely gonna vote no on this. I mean, well, we can take the full board, but hearing what he just said, it seemed like there are, obviously there is somebody and there has been some conversation around it and they're not too keen on giving teachers some latitude. It really, the easement is really for them and not really us. And so give for us to give, and they're not kind of really showing, they're not really kind of keen or wanting to give, brings me some type of headache it brings me some concern. And in good faith for the community, I'm gonna vote no on this. Thank you.
So just, there is no one today. This has been for a 5-year journey to get to here. And this has been looked at with the city, with the county, maybe not explicitly with the school. Like the ask is going to be what do you want? And then the challenges become, is it controlled rent? Is it number of units? How long do they have to be stayed open? That there's a whole mechanics of questions that have to be answered. So it's not black and white, build the right turn lane and build or no left turn lane, because we did a study.
Right, and when we move beyond this point, the next motion is going to be, we authorize the superintendent to enter negotiations to finalize the easement, if the full board approves it. So, I mean, that's where that next step of defining the black and white comes from, is the negotiation part after the board approves it.
And so then just, so I have an understanding where to go with a little bit of definition, like what does the committee have in mind? Like what is the ultimate goal?
We're looking for preferential treatment for teachers in some form or fashion, either be guaranteed number of units in the apartment complex set aside for teachers, maybe a reduced rate for so many years, 10, 15 years, something like that. But it's going to be some type of preferential treatment towards teachers if you're asking something from the school board.
He brings back after he brings back what is required, then the board will give the superintendent the authority to go ahead and pretty much authorize and sign the contract. And that's what we agree. That's where
Yes.
it sounded like you said it sounded like you said that the superintendent authorized Mr. Audi to go ahead and kind of finish it off. I just want to make sure that I'm clear that the procedure. I just want to just I just kind of okay.
For co-op.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Audi, would you mind here?
Read my hand. So.
You have my glasses.
And Mr. Chair, the word require has been added, substituted.
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Required.
Yes, sir.
Requiring sessions for leasing to teachers. You know that? I apologize for my handwriting. I'm an engineer, not a.
All right. Beaufort County School District Operations Committee recommends that the Board of Education support a future easement allowing the connection of Ambrosia Run to WK Austin, requiring concession for leasing to teachers.
Is there a second? I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
2 in favor, 1 opposed, motion passes to go to the full board.
All right, thanks for your time. And then just for clarity, the September would be the.
Yeah, that would go to the board, which means.
Yes,
Okay, good. Thanks for y'all's time. Have a good evening.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Upton Elementary School Library dedication.
This is something fun. If you ladies would like to come forward,
And Ryan, we'll leave it
Well,
Ryan.
So I'm gonna hand it off. I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, my name is Amy Middleton and I'm one of the assistant principals at Bluffton Elementary. It's nice to see you all tonight. Ryan Copeland is here. He's also the lead of our media specialist for the district. And this is Ashley Moody, who was actually a student at Bluffton L through second grade, and now she is a teacher there and actually married Miss Moody's son. So now she's daughter-in-law. Yay! Exactly. So she's not biased at all with so our what we are proposing is that our library at our school is named after Victoria Moody. She was the first librarian at Bluffton L. She started in 1999 when we opened the doors, and then in the spring of last year, she retired after 26 years. So you can see on the dedication proposal, I just kind of summed up just some highlights from her. But just say Miss Moody inspired countless students to discover the joys of reading, fostered a welcoming environment for all, and embraced new technologies to enhance our students' educational experiences. Her innovative programs and unwavering support for both students and staff have left an indelible mark on Bluffton Elementary. Naming the library in her honor would be a fitting tribute to her outstanding contributions and would serve as a lasting reminder of the positive impact one individual can have on a school community. And I enclosed the minutes from our SIC meeting that was in May, and also the letters from our SIC chair is also in your folder along with our proposal. And this was just an example of like a plaque that would be outside, but obviously you guys designed that.
Are there any questions or comments? Board members?
That's important that it's named after her. Media energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, media energy. That's great. I like that.
Anybody online have any comments or questions?
Sounds good to me.
Me as well.
Is there a motion?
I move that the Operations Committee recommend to the board that the Bluffton Elementary School Media Center be named after Ms. Victoria Moody in order for service to Beaufort County School District as the building's first media specialist and for her years of service, 26 years. That's awesome.
I'll second that motion.
Pass out.
All those in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Thank you guys.
FOIA report.
Yep. I'll concede my seat.
Oh, no. This isn't gonna take long.
So, we're gonna talk about the quarter two report, and I just want to take a moment, Wendy, I want to take a moment and thank Ms. Godley. She's doing an excellent job with FOIA. It takes a lot of time, and attention to detail.
He's very thorough and diligent and always has.
Yes. Our requests for the second quarter have almost doubled compared to last year. We had 30 requests from April to June this year. Last year, at the same time frame, we had 15. We did see an uptick in requests during June. Last year, we had 0 requests in June. This year, we got 12. The type of requests we're seeing range from email tools to requesting RFP scores. And that's a lot of it. And we talked about this before, I think, in the last operations committee, with companies just wanting to see how they scored compared to their competitors. And once again, we want to thank IT and procurement for their assistance when we get these FOIA requests. It takes a lot of time out of staff for staff members to pull this information together. And we're very fortunate that we have great colleagues that work with us on this.
This could be quite a little.
And happy to answer any questions.
And we also wanted the board to know that we try to be very careful that we're applying to FOIA and we do a great job with rejecting information that is outside of this. They can't hear you. They can't hear you. We're very, Ms. Godley is very diligent and we review them, all FOIA requests with her to make sure that we properly redact documents to ensure we comply with FERPA and the privacy of individuals.
Any questions, concerns?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith?
I know she said that they were companies requesting commission in terms of, could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, a lot of times, a
You
company.
may want to come so they can hear.
Oh, sure. Yes, like when we put out an RFP and different companies apply for that, if you will. And the ones that typically do not win, like, let's just say we have 4 companies and we have one that wins the bid. The other 3 will a lot of times put in for a request so they can see how they scored and that kind of thing, just to improve their own process.
And how regular does it happen?
Very frequently.
And the reason why I ask is because, I think I told the operations committee when I went to the conference, the actual school board actually annual conference, that I noticed that that a lot of the vendors were not, well, they were, so you kind of, y'all not gonna deal with this. So there was not out there about us that we only have certain companies that we can deal with. And so that's why I'm asking, because it's something that has been on my radar, so that's concerning with me. When you said that the companies are orienting to see what we accept and what we don't, because like I said, at the school board conferences, they have been other companies that said that we kind of only have certain they felt that we dealt with. So that's why I just wondering how regular those companies doing that, how seriously they actually engage in just monitoring the activity of what's going on. So,
Yeah, I think it's a lot of times too, it's like nation. So like when we did something for a new communications platform, these are like national companies, they ask for that.
Anybody else have any questions? Anybody online, have any questions?
None here, sir.
No questions.
No questions. Got it. Thank you. So of the.
I went to your auntie house, but I tell you, they got a job list for Greg. Daddy said, when Greg coming by to do these things for me? I said, well, Dad. I really did it.
Of the 4 requests that actually had a monetary value to them, do we ever, like, as soon as we send back the quote, do they ever actually go through with them?
Yeah, yes, they have to pay 25% up front, then the rest were.
Okay, of the ones that were on this report, were those completed also? Do you know?
I think some of them were and some of them were not. Sometimes.
Yeah, there's one that was almost $1,000. I was just wondering if somebody paid that.
That was not.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right.
But we typically will tell people, if you'd like to refine your request, let us know. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will then make it more specific and then.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I asked if Ms. Gordon is the other person on the iPhone. There's someone on the iPhone and I can't hear who it is when they say no questions. So I don't know if that's Ms. Gordon or who that is on the.
Whoever's on the iPhone, can you identify yourself? Please.
You can tell my iPhone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Dave Carr.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also with the FOIAs, once the FOIA has been completed, it goes to the website. Am I right? So that's another way. That's another way if you want to know whether how much these FOIAs are completed. You can also go to the website and look, and everyone who actually paid for it, their FOIA will be on the website. That's just for anyone who's listening that may want to know that the FOIAs are on one website once they've been paid for.
Thank you.
That's just about that.
Also, just something easy on the FOIA log, it won't be grayed out all the way through when it has been completed. So the 4 blocks that are grayed out, once someone actually pays, all of that will be filled in, the dates it was paid and that kind of thing.
Oh, perfect.
You got an example of that?
Not in this one, no, but in probably the 4th quarter one, someone wants to pay for it.
Okay, wait, actually, that probably may be a great thing to have on it, whenever you bring it so that we can see
Yeah, it'll show.
who's paid. If you could add that to it, so I think that would be great.
Yeah, like there. Just this one, no one did pay for it, so it's not.
We
like this would
indicate
be-
when they
These would
pay.
be filled out. They're grayed out right now because no one paid, but on the 4th quarter FOIA log, someone will have paid something, so it'll be a better.
Right. So what I'm saying is that could we create maybe a square that says not paid or just another block, so.
If you look on the first. You may not have got. Yeah, so like, be better. So you see the actual date of the receipt.
So that we know.
Yeah.
And this is just right here, it's just blocked out. Yes, nothing. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank God.
Thank you, ladies. Oh.
This to be moved to consent agenda.
Make a motion that this is moved to the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Now the nail biter stuff.
This year. I go there.
That's fine, I can go.
No, right here.
You're good.
Sit down.
I think my father used to do that all the time. All right, well, good evening, everybody. I will present the construction updates through the end of July. On the 2019 bond referendum project, we are currently working on the closeouts. As of right now, we're sitting at 13 project closeouts. I did confirm with my CMs. We are within target of 3 other closeouts coming within the next, I'm assuming this month is what they're aiming for. It could be potentially September, but now we're really making progress, starting to see that closeout get closer to the 1-figure number. On the financial updates for the referendum at the end of July, we had paid and committed funds of $374.9 million. The remaining available funds, including the contingency at this moment, are 808,000, give or take. The contingency activity in July was a savings of 32,000, and then we had a use of $349,000. The contingency remaining at the end of the month was 106, close to $107,000. So we are getting very close on the 2019 referendum. On the remaining program contingency commitments, we have a lot of work that went out. It was worked on during the summer. We are anticipating that a lot of that work is going to be completed in August. We have a couple of cars slipping into September, as you can see from that list up in the backup. You'll realize the project's all falling in line. So we are making progress in spending the remaining dollars for the referendum. Any questions on 2019 for the operations? With none heard, I'll move along to the 2023 bond referendum. At May River Elementary School, we are moving steam ahead. We have all the grubbing and tree removal that's about to conclude. So any of you that have been on that site, and if just want to bring it up to your attention as well, tomorrow there will be a clock meeting and they will be held at May River High School. So we will have a walkthrough. You may be able to see some of that work that's progressed at that site. Walk through the CTE. The CTE, not the new, no, because we still haven't, the site is still not prepared. It's gonna be a mud hole, so you Yes. don't want to go over there. And once we get to community outreach, we'll talk more about it. But the mobilization of the excavation crew and grading crew is happening, I'm assuming the next week or 2, we'll see those folks mobilized so they can start doing the retention ponds and all the work that goes as part of the roads and the actual site for the building. At May River High School CTE and JROTC additions, we have a lot of activity going on there. The rough-ins for both the CTE and the JROTC are progressing. We have brick masonry that's completed at the JROTC. The CTE building is now dried in. So there's a lot of work on the inside going on for HVAC, electrical. You'll see trays out there. On the new early learning center for in Bluffton, we have the schematic designs that are scheduled to be received this month. There are some comments from the town of Bluffton that are being worked out with the town and the engineers, but we are hoping that soon we can have some conclusion of that so that we can finalize the civil plans.
You said there's what being worked out between the town?
I'm sorry?
You said there's what being worked out between?
The discussions about some of the structural narratives and stormwater impacts on the site. So between the civil engineer and the town of Bluffton, they're working all these details out as to where they need things to go on the site to make sure that we have the building and the right footprint. And then
the biggest issue is wetland impacts.
That's
We're
correct.
trying to limit the wetland impact as much as possible.
yes. Over at Hilton Head Island High School,
the phase one construction is progressing, as you guys saw during the board meeting down there. The construction of Wilburn Road, the traffic circle is complete. So that was a success. I know that that was kind of the pinch point during the summer, and we had a very aggressive schedule that was actually met by MB Construction. So they did a great job out there. And right now we have a lot of trades working on the inside on finishes. I mean, if you look at that side, it is moving quickly. Phases, the remaining phases, we are expecting that the pricing will arrive at the end of the month so that we can start reviewing and enter the GMP negotiations shortly in the coming months. Beaufort High School CTE, right now we are looking out for the design development plans, and those are scheduled to be received at the end of the month. The Ladies On Middle School replacement site or building, there's a staff presentation for the current progress right now that is scheduled for August 25th at 4:15 p.m. And then there's an SIC meeting on September 9th at 6 p.m. We are going to present the current progress of the work. Right now, we are at DDs, and the CDs are actually progressing at the time. So there will be a chance for us to bring that forward to the staff and the public. Mr. Smith, I know that last meeting you had a question about community engagement, and I wanted to bring it up to you. If you have something for the community, we'd be glad to present the same materials that will be presented to the staff and the SIC with the community members that had some questions or concerns regarding the facility.
And what was those meetings again? You gave 2 dates. What was those meetings?
So the staff meeting is on August 25th. It's a Monday. It's at 4:15 p.m. And then the SIC is on September 9th at 6 p.m. And that will be a Tuesday, which actually is gonna conflict probably with the operations. So just bringing that to your attention.
You said on the 9th or whatnot?
September 9th, which is basically the next operations committee meeting, and it'll be.
I'm sure we can move the operations meeting on. Yeah, everyone, yeah. I guess the operation, we can have, I'll talk about that.
All right. Moving along with the technology warehouse.
Before you, I mean, don't invite the community to the staff meeting, because that'd be staff only. They can come to the SIC meeting, or we can do a private meeting in their community if there's one you want. So
Right, but actually, he said that the SIC meeting. Right. Is on the 9th, right. Yeah, I wouldn't fathom to invite community members to a staff meeting. Staff meetings mean staff, people who are a part of the building and so on. So, I mean, that's, but yeah, and that's why I said the comment I made was, it was in reference to the SIC meeting, which is the community meeting, and that is the actual that is probably the best one of the best meetings that will help with that, with parish and everything else. I think that sure the principal and then the SIC Scott Shipson, they're very more community or oriented, grandmas and everyone else coming to that. So that's why I said that the September 9th meeting.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Over on this side, the tech warehouse and imaging center, as you've seen, the site is being prepped so that we can pour the concrete pad. That will occur this month, and the actual prefab structure is going to be arriving this month as well. So we are looking out for that, and soon you'll see the erection of that building shortly after. On the financial update at the end of the month, we are currently standing at a paid and committed funds total of 184.68 million. A remaining available fund, which includes the contingency of 254.35 million. There was no project contingency activity to report. The contingency currently remains at the program level at $11.74 million. The project level contingencies stand at $13.65 million. So, any questions regarding the 2023 referendum updates?
Yes, sir. I was out shopping, and who is the Bluffton? I mean the May River. The May River. the new addition to May River, who's doing that?
By that, what do you mean, the contractor?
Okay.
For May River, the addition or the elementary?
The
The
JROTC and the CTE,
right.
that is Thompson Turner Construction.
I mentioned that because, hold on it. Our parent brought it to my attention. She said, well, what basically came to me and said, well, why would y'all get the same person who built May River to do new add-on May River with all the problems that May River is having, or it was had? And I didn't realize that. I guess so. I guess May River, Thompson and Turner is the person who the other person who built May River, right? Correct.
They built the original May River.
Right.
MB Khan built the addition that was added, the classroom wing addition. That was the most recent thing.
Uh-huh.
And then the CTE building is Thompson Turner. So what problems are you talking about?
May River High School. The issues out there. Even when we had the floor coming up, before even the floor was coming up, and the north, and then that's from the original bill. But the parent thing was, I guess she paid attention more than that. Or she recognized, because I think so. I was thinking of the second one that you mentioned. I thought they were the one, but I guess she was right. I said, I don't think that they were the one, but what you just said, she was correct. But the point of it is that we do have people who are paying attention. And her comments to me was, why did y'all go with the same company that built May River, that had May River's having all these problems, these issues? Y'all go back with the same company, and so that's just kind of, it's just on the first hand, it is kind of concerning. But I guess I don't really remember I don't really know who she was, but anyway, but she knew who I was, but she mentioned that. And I guess I was not correct on that. But
And I would be interested as far as what problems came from the original construction. Recognize the original construction now is 9 years old. So that flooring is 9 years old. And yes, there have been flooring problems, but they're not construction issues.
Mr. Odding, I'm not gonna go back and forth for you. But since we have May River, they have been several different issues with that school, in terms of what that looked like. And I'm stating what was stated to me.
Okay.
And so that's people, they have that right to say that to me. And I'm just bringing it up because it's just funny that we're talking about it, and being that lady that just came to me, kind of throwing that at me publicly. She came to me with that, and so I'm just putting it out there, not just so I'm hearing it, but also so that the community. I said the committee and everyone else can hear it, because that is something that was told to me, and so I was wrong, and she was right. So with regards to River, it's 9 years old, 10 years old. We have other buildings we have other buildings that was built that still don't have those issues, and still don't have some problem that the new schools that we're building are having. We have older schools that still aren't having some of these issues. So as a constituent, she has a right. Really, probably wanted someone else, but she has a right to come in and tell me how she feels. And I'm just relaying message. So that's just. There's no need for us to like.
Well, the only thing I would just ask is, if you hear that, please ask what they're referring to. That way we can know how to address it in the future.
What
Statement, I don't know what, outside of the flooring problems, I'm not aware of any major construction issues at May River High School. So that statement keeps coming up, and I don't know what you're talking about, because we're not aware of it.
Last time you and we discussed it at length. I didn't want to go into it. There were several issues that we talked about at May River, that was going that we saw at May River High School, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not going to sit and allow you to say that, because you are, and I did make you aware of several things that were an issue at May River. And also, one time when we had one of the larger meetings there, we talked about some of those things. So that's just the honest truth. So I'll leave it there. That's why I didn't want to go back and forth with you. So because I remember telling you that.
We're getting off topic. Mr. Dallas?
Yeah, so, there have been comments about May River. Mr. Otting, I seem to remember when I first came on the board, one of the root causes of the problems was that that particular project was severely underfunded. I think it came from 8% money, if I recall correctly. And so a lot of the qualitative things that our operations group does now were not done then. And I think we're just reaping the benefit of trying to rob Paul to pay Peter back in, 9, 10 years ago. So that may be, if that's true, that may be a good response to give to board members such as Mr. Smith and myself and others, so we can let them know that we've significantly upped our qualitative standards and just look at what's been built recently.
Thank you, sir. That's a very good point.
Moving on. All right, moving on. Other project updates. Just giving some quick highlights on the 8% that we had this summer. The May River High School cafeteria expansion, that project is now complete. It's in use. You can see from the report some of the photos of how that came up. Yep. The progress for this facility, as you could have seen, the front of the facility, now we have glazing, steel, and they're getting ready to start doing some of the finishes in the exterior as well. The interior, they have a lot of roughing that's ongoing, but we have plenty going on in the front. Regarding the rest of the building, they've started work in the finance suite. Robin, I know there's a lot of movement in this facility.
It's been kicked out of her office.
Like, she's down the hall now. The work that occurred at Joseph Shanklin Elementary School, the interior renovation work, that is all complete. The only thing that remains and that will be continued upon this fall semester is just the window seals that the contractor has to do after hours.
So all those metal walls have been taken out?
Yes. And you can see the photos if you walked around the facility that actually came out good. They did metal walls, they did case work, they did painting. I mean, they've really spruced up the interior. The same update corresponds to St. Helena Elementary School. That was a big undertaking. Actually, I ran into Mr. Smith a couple times. I know at first we were just worried that the facility was not going to be ready. Fortunately, everything came to place and the facilities were able to open. The only thing at St. Helena is just the HVAC equipment that is scheduled to ship at the end of the month. That HVAC equipment services the P wing, which is on the northwest portion of the building. But as of now, that actual unit that is in place is servicing those areas. So it's not like they're out of AC or anything. It's just we're waiting on the new unit so that we can have a better piece of equipment that serves that area. Moving along on the community outreach, the only item that we currently have is the coordination of the May River Elementary groundbreaking ceremony. Right now, we have it tentatively set to occur September 25th.
Actually, I think we're gonna move it more to October.
That's right. I was gonna say that.
You and I need to get together and find a date.
So once that's finalized, obviously, everybody will get the details on that activity. On the request for proposals and request for qualifications, the RFQ 26005 for professional design services, as well as the RFP 26006 for the construction management and risk services, that is currently out on the street, and the responses are due by 4 p.m. on September 10th. So we look forward to participation from multiple firms. That concludes my report for the construction update.
Board members, any questions? Mr. Spade?
I first like to say, I thank you to you and your staff for getting the schools ready over the summer and pushing. I know there was a lot of nicks and bumps and things that you guys went into, and for you to be able to put our students first and put everything that's out there. And trust me, I do understand that there were some challenges and that there were some different things, because I think that I will say that this is probably one of the summers where they have to understand that unlike some of the different counties where you could pull some of the custodial staff from one place or and use them district wide, this was a little different, because we have about 3 different companies, to keep everyone fair and to keep everyone accurate with doing the work that they hired for. So I do understand that there was a lot that went into that. So I do applaud y'all for your efforts this summer. And then on the other hand, I just wanted to make you aware that I knew there were some doors that she may want to go check out, because of the wax on the floor. Well, there were some doors in some of the schools that we're catching a hard time, closing. And we believe it's possibly because actually y'all may want to go and check those, but there are some doors that was closed to find before the school, but,
they're not.
before school ended, but now they kind of having some problems. I know some principals and teachers were talking about possibly putting in, some work orders. I'm not sure what those are, but I just want to check on that. That's something to look forward to and towards next summer too, to just check and make sure that all those doors, because that is a safety and security concern. So I just want to put that out to you. But all in all, I appreciate the hard work that everyone put into this project, since you as well as those other people. I just want to convey that. Thank you.
It's noted. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody online have any questions or comments?
None here, sir.
I'm good. Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right.
Looks
I was gonna say, just a reminder again, clock meeting tomorrow, meet at 5:30 PM in the front if you want to tour the CTE edition, JROTC edition, otherwise 6 PM at the Long Distance Learning Lab at May River High.
5:30 at the front door.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, good evening, committee. So the report you have in front of you is the maintenance and custodial update for the period of June and July. We'll start with custodial. I'll take a brief pause at the end of custodial and then move to maintenance. This report's going to be larger because we've included end of the year, fiscal year work order data in this report. We typically like to provide a comparison from our previous fiscal year to our to the one that we just ended on June 30. So we have that data in here as well. So our first page, we wanted to give you a summary of our custodial spot inspections that have been completed to date from January through June. I wanted to make note that we did not complete from a district or school level. We did not complete spot inspections during the month of June and July. And that obviously was specific to our whole mindset, and what we geared towards in June and July is all about getting in schools, getting our custodial service work cleaning done, as well as extensive any project work and our construction work. So there's a total shift in what we're doing. And as an inspection, we try to stay out of the schools as much as we can so we can allow all of our service providers to get the work done. So you'll see here on page 1, these are totals. We completed our fiscal year with 554 inspections at the district level, with 2,641 at the vendor level. And then we've included again the highest and lowest averages for each vendor. So we're going to move on to the second page. You'll see here we've got our quarterly staffing totals. You see a lot more red and yellow during June and July. And so when we are staffing for custodial over the summer, we have our highest fluctuation of staffing percentages. And that is pretty typical of summer, because we have a lot of custodians that are day porters at our schools that only work during the summer period. We have custodial staff that they don't want to do the deep cleaning work. They don't want to refinish floors. Again, it's a completely different service model. So you're going to see in June and July that we're going to have a lot of fluctuation in staffing. The intent when we bring our staffing totals to y'all for August is that we're going to see our percentages get closer back to 100% in preparation for the start of school. Moving down the page, our deficiencies, we provided a total of January through June deficiencies. We did not acknowledge any deficiencies in June and July. Again, we weren't doing inspections in that month. We are picking up with our inspections again in this month, the month of August. And so we'll be reporting those in next month's report. Again, even though we've got a lot of red and yellow, we still managed overall to get our staffing maintained above a 90% for all 3 vendors. So that was successful. As Mr. Smith alluded to earlier, I mean, our custodial was stretched. So we had 2 different models. We had staffing that was supporting our summer school programs and our camps in schools that went through June and all the way into July. And what it looked like once all the refinishing work was done. Any questions about custodial before I move to maintenance?
Any questions online?
No questions on custodial.
Awesome.
Okay. So maintenance is a little more extensive. As I stated, we're going to give you some data as it relates to how we ended our fiscal year. The first page you're going to see as far as maintenance is our fiscal year end to date. So June 30, this data is through June 30. Total work orders 28,421. You see our completion totals for the month of June were the highest that it's been in the last 3 years at 2,254. I will make note and acknowledge that one of the things I look for is how proactive we're being with our maintenance initiated work orders. And you see in the month of June, we truly did fall off. I like to see it above 45%, closer to 50. We fell to a 39.85. So we're going to move to our comparison page, and this is comparing fiscal year 24 to 25. Each section we focused on, we've got requested, our work in progress, our completed, our percent completed, our maintenance initiated, and then our percent of maintenance initiated. You know, tracking this year, I really thought that the way that we were progressing, that we would actually be closer to the 29,000 mark and we would blow last year's total requested out of the water. And surprisingly, we are actually 1.3% lower than we were last year. The chart that I don't necessarily like to see is right next door to that, and that's the work in progress is 43.7% higher than what it was last year. Our completion totals as we move down this document are also lower than they were last year, to the tune of 89.5% in 24 compared to 82% in 25. Interestingly enough, though, our maintenance initiated did increase for comparison with the 2 years. To speak to that, I will say there is a pretty consistent thing going on with our maintenance department, and that is staffing. We have been under 90% staffed for over 6 months. And so our current provider, unfortunately, has been unable to get the momentum to maintain staffing levels. Even at the time of this report, I just found out that we lost another technician that resigned last Friday. So now we're right back to under 90% again. So we've had these conversations with the current provider. We've stated that we expect to end this contract on a high note, just to be good partners with the school district. They are still representatives in our district and are still working on our custodial side of the house. So it is in their best interest to maintain good relations with us. So I just want to talk to the fact that know that we recognize the staffing's an issue. In the new contract, we have built in very specific penalties about staffing. So our staffing model in the new maintenance contract is 100% staffing. So if it's a management position, they have 45 days to fill that position. Upon day 46, it's a $500 penalty for every week that they are not staffed with their management positions. With field employees, it's $10 per day. There's no grace period. You're 100% staffed and it's $10 per, or it's the number of hours time their employee rate for every hour that they are short payroll. So I just want to kind of talk through that to let y'all know that we recognize this. When I pulled this up, I kind of shook my head because I knew things have been a struggle for them staffing wise, but I did not, until I saw these percentages, it didn't really equate to me that we were in that deep of a pit right now with our data. So moving on, the next page you're going to see is just our first month of July. I want to focus on the fact that we're already have 2,544 work orders in July to start the year. So schools have been raring up and putting those work orders in. Our maintenance initiated still continue to fall. Last month we were at 39, now we're at 37. So you can kind of see where we're going with this, with the maintenance department. Moving on to our craft section, we had two categories. We had our HVAC and our general maintenance that were our highest categories for this month for July. Coosa Elementary had the highest HVAC work order totals, and that was primarily due to system resets. We had fault codes on systems. There were multiple condensate pumps that were replaced. I will tell you, HVAC as of late and the storms that have hit Beaufort County have caused us to do a lot of reset on systems. I mean, it has been absolutely insane. So that has not done us any favors when it comes to HVAC. General maintenance was Bluffton Elementary School. The requests that they had were pretty typical of what we see this time of year with furniture moves, repairs of furniture, hanging and mounting fixtures for the start of the school year. We're going to continue to move through. Our next two pages are how we track our average days to complete work orders. Our average days for both North and South are still under 4 days, but I will tell you, and this kind of coincides with what we see with the rest of the data presenting in not a great state. And one of the things I always look for in these reports is how are we doing with requested and completed within the same month? I'd love to see over 50% work orders coming in. Can we get over 50% where we're requesting and completing those work orders within the same month? And you'll see with both of these, North and South, North comes in at a 46%, South comes in at a 34%. Those are the lowest that we have seen within the last 6 months of reporting this data. So again, we're going to continue to keep our foot on the pedal and remind our maintenance department and the management team what our expectations are. Moving to our next page, we typically do focus and do provide a blitz for y'all every month. But just know June and July are not blitz months because of our makeup in our schools during the summer. August, we spend on just having a successful start of the school year. So we do not tax our maintenance department with doing a blitz, but we will have a blitz for you to feature in September's report, and it will be at South of the Broad School. I wanted to provide y'all just a little snippet as far as how we're transitioning right now with Sodexo. On June 24th, the Board of Education approved the recommendation for the facilities maintenance contract to be awarded to Sodexo. On June 25th, that award to intent was published, and the current contract at that point was extended with ABM through September 30th to allow for us to have time to transition for Sodexo to start October 1st. So I'm happy to report as soon as that happened, Sodexo was here a week later. We've already started meeting. They've started meeting with district level staff. They've had 2 meetings with the maintenance department, the district office. We've had 3 meetings with the maintenance department because it comes down to communication, and it's all about communication and setting us up to be very successful with this new contract. So things are going very well. Sodexo was actually just back in town this week. Applications are being released to our current in-house maintenance staff first, and that happened this week. We've provided Sodexo with the employees' personal information so they can get in contact with them directly. So they have first rights to those applications. They are going to have to go through the application process, but they have the opportunity to do that prior to those applications hitting the street and becoming public. They will be in for the next, month and a half until contract start dates. They're going to be in pretty much every week, if not every other week, but they're going to be here really actively. They're going to come in and do in-person interviews, as well as come in and support and provide all the resources to the maintenance department staff to get them prepared for this transition. Okay.
again, we talked about staffing, this 90, I was gonna say we celebrate maintenance for a 90.6, but we just lost another one, so it's actually under 90%. So we're back down to 7 openings for our maintenance staffing. I do want to recognize maintenance. They really do a lot as we transition from the end of our summer school and go into the start of our school year. We have a lot of events, believe it or not, that we pull our maintenance staff out to support. The 2 biggest things that they support for us every year is the Back to School Expo at Battery Creek High School, which was all hands on deck, as well as our district professional development day, which we had at 3 different schools. And we typically have that model, or we've had it for the last few years, which they provide a tremendous amount of support for those events as well.
And graduation.
And graduations too. So that was a big deal too. So that concludes the maintenance and custodial report. Any questions about maintenance or anything other?
Okay. Grounds maintenance.
Yes, sir.
Where's the report on grounds maintenance? Do we have a report on grounds maintenance?
Would you like a report on grounds maintenance?
I saw Mr. Campbell.
Mhm.
He said that the fence line around Will Branch High School, as always, needs to be cut.
Okay.
All the weeds cut down. And we would be a good idea, I think, to add situation report on grounds maintenance.
Okay.
So, because we get a lot of questions, especially with football season kicking off, all the other sports activities, and to see what's going on there.
Okay.
I had something like that in the news. So.
Well Branch Middle School. Okay. We can definitely check that out.
On the custodial contract, how do we when they lose an employee, how just do they just give us a report saying, hey, we lost 2 people, or we lost three employees? How does that work?
So I meet with custodial weekly. And so we go through and we talk about staffing. We talk about where we're at each school. They have a staffing plan. So we created, when we started the custodial information for each school, we created a custodial Google Drive. So every school has their own Google Drive folder. And within that folder are subfolders. And within those subfolders are their staffing plans, their SDS sheets for all their chemicals for their building.
Okay.
Information on the contract and what the guidelines as far as what they're supposed to do for their scope of work. So pretty much any pertinent document that school would need to reference for their contract is within their Google folder. Staffing information, to-do checklist. I mean, the information goes on and on and on. So our vendors have the opportunity and the access to upload all the documents into each school's folder. And then each school has viewing rights to view those documents within that folder. So staffing plans are in there, and we discuss those weekly. So I'm engaging them pretty regularly to find out what's going on. And believe it or not, and we do our custodial inspections. Our custodial inspection form is in that Google Drive folder, as well as our deficiency forms are in that Google Drive folder. Principals have access to the deficiency and the inspection form, as well as one designee at every school that the principal has elected. And then we have district office staff in the operations department that have access to those 2 forms that can complete inspections and complete deficiencies.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Actually, something. Actually, I have no questions. Let me start by saying I have no questions, because any question I had, you pretty much you answered it. You knocked it out of the park. Honestly, and let me start by saying, don't beat yourself up about this report, because there are some variables that go along with this report, that in terms of us changing as in the district schedule. In terms of, I think we went to school earlier this year than what we've done in the past. So that kind of changes things as well, and made me think, sitting home, reflecting this summer about us when we're in the future, when we do approve schedules and different things like that. Made me think, gave me a little to think about as well. Let me start by saying that. And the, and another thing is that one thing I've heard, and I had not heard it from just from one principal. I read from a couple principals, about how frequently that I guess how you're talking to the minister principals, and you're reaching out to them and you're asking them, and they say that, hey, they've been calling you, you get right back to them and how you've been on it, and they can see some of the buildings are actually turning. And I said, oh yeah, I said, trust me, when it comes to that, Mrs. Major, I said, you don't have to tell me about that. I said, I see it. I get to see it firsthand when we sit down to the table, and it's expressions to how expressed that, but they've expressed that to me. And another thing is to that, I appreciate you bringing us the raw, uncut, the good, the bad, the ugly, the straight truth. This was I appreciate that, because sometimes bringing that information is very uncomfortable. Sometimes even as I remember having these conversations, because it's uncomfortable because sometimes people take it personal, but it's just, it's the truth, and then we all want to get better. Even like to get better as a board member. So I appreciate you bringing that to us and saying, hey, this is where we're at. This is what it is. I appreciate that. I really do. The same thing I told him in terms of the maintenance. I appreciate that. I just want to tell you, please don't beat yourself up, because we do understand that there was some different variables, and you stated some of them this year in terms of coming into school at a different timing, and as Colonel Guy said too, as in terms of the contract. And so we do understand that, that sometimes people feel that way when they're not going to get the contract. And so, just out of respect, you already have taken aggressive steps towards leading to make sure that, but we fall short that we're going to make up for our problem. That. I appreciate you. Thanks for being truthful about everything. Thank you.
Any questions, comments online?
I'm good. Thanks for all the information.
Future topics. Anybody have any future topics?
Air conditioning units throughout the district. And
More specific?
We've been in the paper, just about what that looked like and what that process is, because we've dealt with air conditioning units for the last 2 years that we've been to school. I mean, that's another. People, why y'all in the paper every year about air conditioning units? So we have to do something different to continue to do the same thing. I think it'll be not within our best interest in terms of where we are as a district.
Is there anything that you can point operations generally towards, instead of just saying air conditioners? Air conditioner maintenance at the beginning of the school year, air conditioner, the frequency of the AC going down. I mean,
the process.
What process? Of buying air conditioners, of repairing them, of what?
How we look going into the winter time, or
what's the process? First, I think we need to figure out I know at certain parts of the day we cut the air conditioners off. So let's understand the process and what we've been doing. And then I think understanding this, I'm not see current. I think understanding this, I'm not see current guys has his hand up as well, but understanding what the process is. What does that look like? I know we cut at certain times of the day. We cut the air conditioners off. I know STNG says sometimes even throughout the year you should run your air conditioner, and not even in the winter time or something. I think it's something with some alls, whatever. So it's just the process, understanding the process that we've been doing, and maybe we may want to, as we spoke yesterday in the meeting about bringing a professional, a consultant. Maybe we at this point we may even need to bring a consultant to help us out, so that next year, come hell or high water, we won't see, or we won't make the paper about air conditioning units. So that's what we need to have we want to have a discussion about air conditioning. But you may be able to add to that.
Yeah, can I follow up to that? Preventative maintenance.
Okay, that's a lot more specific. Okay.
Preventative maintenance, oftentimes we react when it goes down, but a preventative maintenance schedule can identify things before they go down and That's what we do in our own homes. We have contractors come in the spring and in the fall, and they look at cleaning out the compressors and the filters and all that kind of stuff. And it seems to me that the good time to do that on a process is during the summer. The other thing about preventative maintenance is preventative maintenance doesn't take as much, technicians don't have to be as highly trained because it's mostly housekeeping and cleaning and lubricating and opening up the drains and that type of stuff. But that seems to be the process that can be emphasized so that we don't have the startup. Because if everything's working in the spring, then we shut down, and then we fire back up, and we find problems. And sometimes preventative maintenance during that time, run them every now and then, check them out, might be a worthwhile enterprise. What do you think?
So there's nobody that wants to improve on air conditioning.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. And we actually have been working very hard on it, and we have some things in place, and we weren't perfect this year, but I think we definitely saw improvements from last year, and we're hoping to see improvements in the future. So I have no problem talking to about what some of the different things we're doing. And with a focus on preventive maintenance. I don't know how many times I've preached that in the last week.
And then I was gonna say, I think that also goes back to me also into what I said too, what's the process?
Yeah.
Because talking about it, understanding the process of it, being able to understand the nuts and bolts of what that looks like. And in terms of the board, where we may want to say, then we may want to do something differently in terms of as we did yesterday. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then, I mean, not too long ago, you gave like an energy conservation as applied to HVAC and all that. So, yes, I mean, we've already had a couple of briefs on some of the processes. But yeah, I mean, as far as the process for preventative maintenance.
Yeah, we've got a lot of changes, so yeah, it'd be great. We'll present kind of some things we're have in the works and what we're hoping to get out of that. So.
Any future topics from people online?
And that also.
None here, sir.
I have
Mr. Carter?
none. I have none.
All right, I have none. Ms. Frazier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
have none.
All right, awesome.
Carol, you had something?
I had a conversation today with someone from the county green space committee, but the Ladies Island Middle School adjacent properties. So they would like to come talk to operations committee to kind of talk about the process that they're going through in order to purchase that property. And it's just some specifics about that. So I suggested next, it will line up with, I think it goes to natural resources. And then if we talk about it here, and it'll just line up very nicely with what they have going on. And if we need to take it to the full board, you'll be able to do that as well.
I understand that they're going to sell it to the county. There's funds being transferred, I don't know, but the county is going to get ownership, and then the county is going to transfer ownership to the district.
That's one way that it can happen.
That's what I've heard from the county is what they're thinking.
Yes. It can go into
Ms. Hayes.
Ms. Hayes, but she didn't say
Just-
she had a question.
Atkins.
Any other questions, comments, concerns,
Yeah,
Mr. Smith?
and I was also, with that report, I also do understand, as we talked about yesterday in the technology committee, and in terms of bringing technology up, I do understand that in the air conditioners now, there's a technology component. And so we could also understand what that looks like too, in terms of we have some new units that sometimes they may have to come out and reset or whatever that looks like. So we could also understand what that process is like as well, when that report is brought to us. Because there are some technology components that are very important in these new units come out, from what I'm understanding.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other safe rounds on once? On twice?
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
This meeting is scheduled for September 9th. Mr. Smith has concerns with that.
Yeah, I do.
I was just gonna say, we were talking about the SIC for Ladies Island Middle School.
Right.
Dr. Brown actually confirmed that the SIC meeting is on October 14th.
Okay.
Not September, so there's no conflict with any operations.
Perfect. Great, perfect. That's awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it. And that's not the board meeting.
October 14th.
And that's not a board meeting date, is it?
I'm sorry?
That's not a board meeting date, is it? It's,
No, it's not.
okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's the next operation
This is
meeting.
the next operation meeting in October.
Is it?
Yes, it's the second Tuesday in October.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
That's their problems, their meetings on the second Tuesday.
Well, I guess we cross that bridge when we get there. That's fine.
All right, September 9th.
September.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.